Hi there, it's May the 19th and we're continuing our progress through the Good News of John. We're in chapter 10 and we're reading from verses 22 through to 42. We've mentioned already that John sets great store by Jesus being in Jerusalem at the time of the Jewish festivals. We've seen him there in Passover, we've seen him there at Tabernacles, and here is Jesus coming to Jerusalem at the time of another festival. Not in fact one that's one of the three festivals of the Hebrew Scriptures, but actually one that was instituted just before the time of Jesus, in the time of the Maccabees. This is the feast of Hanukkah, and it says that Jesus is in Jerusalem at the time of the Feast of Dedication. The Greek calls it the Engenia, the renewal, but actually it's the Jewish feast that's celebrated still around the Christian Christmas time, the Feast of Hanukkah, which means dedication. And the reason it's important for John is because Jesus is, first of all, he's in the temple and he's teaching again in Solomon's porch. And again, there's this challenge to who he really is. Is he really the Messiah? If he's the Messiah, let him say so. Now, again, particularly at the time of Hanukkah, there is focus on the miracle of Hanukkah, which happened. That is the 1 day's oil, that was the 1 day sacred oil to light the lamps, which lasted for 8 days. And one of the refrains of this festival, which is said is a great miracle, was here. And so Jesus is asked about the miracles he's done and the signs that he's done. And Jesus says, I've been showing you things from the Father that prove, that show who I am. Why are you constantly going on about me, making sure publicly that I'm Messiah? And then Jesus actually says something very, very provocative. He says, my sheep know me, my sheep hear my voice, and they follow me, and they know the one who sent me, my Father, and in fact I and the Father are one. Now when he says I and the Father are one, that is really incendiary to the Jewish leaders and the others who are listening to him in the temple, because and it's seen so because again they pick up stones to stone Jesus, because they see him as committing blasphemy by connecting himself with the great one only God. But Jesus then says to them, look, which of the miracles that I've done are you stoning me for? And they're saying, we're not stoning you for your miracles, we're stoning you because you have made yourself equal with God. And that is against the Torah, that's against our whole faith. Jesus says, but I've been showing you the things that the Father does, and it's the Father in me who's been doing these things. So Jesus says, look, it's not me promoting myself. The reason I can do the things I do is because the Father has empowered me to do these things. He's saying the signs and the wonders. Just like at this time of Hanukkah in Jewish tradition, God did something miraculous. So Jesus says this is God testifying to his miraculous power again. And then he says, after all, it's written in the scriptures. In fact, he's referring here to Psalm 82, where it's talking about, it actually refers to the fact that people are called gods, people to whom God's word comes. He says, and if God is referring to those in the Psalms who could be equated with the divine, how much more would the one the Father sends and personally sends be equated with God? He says he's not doing anything which disagrees with the scriptures here. But they are so angry with him that Jesus withdraws. After they try to arrest him, but he manages to escape, and he withdraws to the other side of the Jordan, to the place where John was originally baptizing, to be away from the jurisdiction of this particular bunch of people and to be safe. But it says that people came and joined themselves to him there, and many believed on him. Jesus is really, he's really making a division in a sense between those who follow him and those who follow their traditions and don't recognize him. Jesus always brings this sense of decision around. We cannot be half-hearted about Jesus. As C.S. Lewis says, he's either a man who's mad on the level of a man who says he's a poached egg, or he's the devil himself, or he is who he says he is, the Son of God. But we can't make him out to be some great religious teacher, some great moralist. He hasn't left that to us. C.S. Lewis says he never intended to. Jesus calling us, as he called these Jews in this day, his day to follow him and to be true to him, as because of the works that he's done, testifying to the fact that his Father has sent him. Have a very good May the 19th.